Hi there, thanks for watching. In my last video I showed you how to prune your sage, and that left me with this lovely big bundle of sage stalks. I didn't want to throw them away, so what I thought I'd do is make some smudge sticks from them, and that's what we're going to do. Smudge sticks. So what is a smudge stick? Well, simply put, it's a bundle of herbs that are tied tightly together and burnt as part of a ritual or ceremony to cleanse and bless and heal. It can be made from many different herbs, but as we've got so much here, we're going to make ours from sage. But before we can make our smudge sticks, the first thing we have to do is take our sage and hang it up to dry for at least 2 weeks. And drying herbs is really easy. All you have to do is take a few stems, not too many because you want the air to travel between the leaves, but something akin to the thickness of a neck of a wine bottle. Take that, take a piece of string, wrap it round the stems at the top, and tie it up. And then you have something you can hang up. Okay, so I've now tied up all my sage stems into individual bundles, and I've linked them all in with a piece of wire so I can hang them up. It makes it easy for me to hang up. Now the important thing to do is when you hang your sage up is to make sure the stems are upwards and the leaves are downwards. That way all the sap in the plant goes down to the leaves, and of course when we make our smudge sticks it's the leaves that we're going to use, and that's where we want all the goodness to be. Okay, so I've just got to go and hang this up in a nice airy place. I've found that if you hang it up for about 2 weeks, that's the ideal length of time. You don't want to hang it over a radiator or anything like that sort of heat. You want the drying process to be nice and steady. And we don't want these stems to be too dry when we go to make our smudge sticks, because we want a little bit of flexibility in there, so that when we make these sticks, that and we're going to fold the stems over, and we want them to just be pliable enough without snapping. Okay, so off I go to hang this up. It's 2 weeks since I did the sage cutting, and this little bunch here has been hanging up since then. And as you can see in here, it's nicely dry but still very slightly pliable, which makes it perfect for making smudge sticks. And to do that, we need a few things. First of all, some twine, some secateurs, and a pair of scissors. And so the first thing we need to do is cut off about 6 lengths of twine, and it's going to be about 10 inches. So go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And now this is our sage. So all we're going to do, we've got the stems here and the tops of the leaves here, so we're just going to bend it round like that. Okay, we have that, and we take one piece of string and just tie it around the middle, and that's our fixing point. And we tie it with a very simple reef knot. And so we have that, and we're going to look at trimming this bit here. So this is going to be the handle where the stalks are. and this is the end here where we're going to set fire to it when we do our first rituals. And to keep it all in place, all we need to do is about every inch or third of an inch just tie a piece of twine just to keep it together. So it's nice and tight, and it just using a very simple reef knot. Simple as that. Right at the top. And finally, just one at the bottom, just to keep it all nice and tidy, because obviously when it burns down, leaves will come loose. I'm just going to put one more in here, so a bit of a close-up. Nice simple reef knot, and there we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 separate tyings. That's keeping it nice and tight. So now what we're going to do is just trim the string to make it nice and neat. And there we go. So we're now beginning to get the shape of our smudge stick. So now we're going to look at what I call the handle part of this smudge stick, and that is down here. And as you can see, we've got a fair amount of offcut to do, so we're going to take our secateurs, and this is the last tying part of our smudge stick here. So we're just going to trim it off, just the top bits, not the stems, okay? Like that. And I've used secateurs there, but sometimes it's easier to use scissors because they do a finer cut. Just strip the leaves off and we're left with the stalks. Like that. And now we turn the smudge stick around, and we've got some leaves that poke out here, so we're just going to trim those off just to make it nice and neat. Like that. Okay. So now we have an obvious top to the smudge stick, obvious bottoms to the smudge stick, and the stalks that we're going to turn into the handle. Okay, so we're going to take our twine, and what we need to do is just we're going to place the string down from the bottom to the top of the smudge stick, and then all we're going to do is, keeping this piece of string down here, we're just going to wind it round. We do that by simply turning the smudge stick, and you can see this is being trapped down there, and that's what will hold the binding for your handle in place. Nearly down to the bottom. So when we're down to, we've got about an inch to go there. So what we're going to do, that sixth piece of string, you may be wondering what happened to it. It's here. So we're going to form it into a loop, like so. and just place it on top of the end of the twigs at the bottom and underneath the string, and we're just going to loosely bind round it like that. Okay, and we're going to do that about half a dozen times. Doesn't have to be that tight. And we're going to snip a piece off string and poke that end through the loop of the twine, and then we're going to find the two pieces of the bottom of the loop of the twine, I hope this makes sense, and just pull it through, and that gives us a nice fast binding for the handle. Clip that off, and that's our smudge stick nearly complete. We only need to make two more cuts now. And the first one is where the tops are bent over. To make it burn easier, we're just going to clip through those with the secateurs. Like that. Okay, just give it a like that. And then at the bottom of the handle, where we have these straggly bits of stems, we're just going to cut those off. Like so. And there we have our completed smudge stick. And just to prove it works, all we have to do is set fire to it. And the cleansing smoke can fill your house. Nice and easy. So I hope by watching this you now know how to make your own smudge stick and can go out and make many of your own. I've made this one with sage. You can actually make it with sage and mix it in with other herbs, your favourite herbs, and but happy making and happy rituals. Thank you very much for watching.